If you're running an outside business-to-business sales model for your company, you're probably running into an incredibly high turnover rate of salespeople and those qualified applicants. You're finding that maybe you're falling behind a little bit and they're either leaving your company for better pay with others, or they could possibly just be moving careers altogether. What I want to do is I want to show you a way to retain those employees, increase your appointment count, and increase your revenue substantially within a very short period of time, sometimes within a month. First of all, we want to recognize and identify the issues that are facing our business-to-business sales reps, okay? So let's look at it this way. Let's call it B2B problems. So we're going to type in here B2B probs, okay? Now let's list out the business-to-business problems. Now, there are quite a few. We're going to list probably 4 or 5. We'll just go and see how much we can find. But let's look at it this way. One of the biggest ones here is burnout. Reps experience an increased rate of burnout. Why might this be? Why might we be experiencing an increase in rate and burnout with business-to-business reps? Well, it's very simple in a sales role. In a sales role, you're predominantly a commission-based role, or you work on a draw. And you're required to do a certain level of activity to see a certain level of success. Now, I believe it's that activity to the end result of success that is causing a burnout. Right now, we see a generation that's coming into the sales force with a generation that's now leaving, but a generation that's coming into the sales force that has instant gratification, that is a quick sales cycle. It's not that they're bad at sales, and we have to understand that. It's not that they're bad at selling. It's that they have not worked for a company that's adopted a newer sales model. Now, it's not to say what you're doing is wrong. It's just to say that if you are a business-to-business model that solely relies on bringing a paper and a pamphlet to a business, you're outdated and you're going to have problems getting ahead. And you're going to see burnout in your reps because your reps aren't seeing the success that they're used to seeing. So let's jump into another one. And this one should be pretty obvious for sales. And again, this is just problems with business-to-business sales. Some of these are controllable, some of these aren't. It's constant rejection. Constant rejection. What am I talking about? Sales is basically all rejection, right? Sales is if you are not used to taking rejection, if you take things hard, if you don't have short-term memory, sales, man, it is just not the industry, the business, the job for you. It is just not for you. Okay, and that's fine, but there is a way to cut back on that rejection and make sure that the rejection is actually rooted, because what we're seeing here is the burnout leads to this is really caused by this constant rejection. But this is rejection that is constant, not a variable rejection, meaning there are different variables at play that cause the rejection. We just simply see it as, oh, it's rejection is rejection. That's not necessarily the case. Right? Rejection may not come until the 12th activity, 16th, 20th activity. But all those activities, the carrot that's being dangling in front of you as a sales rep for a potential business, when all of a sudden you get ghosted or they go radio silent, that is constant rejection, right? That is a variable of rejection. So we have to look at it that way. How do we reduce that? Then we look at admin tasks. Oh, admin tasks. Okay, your admin tasks are going to be those things as a sales rep that you do that do not lead to revenue. Now, I'm pretty aggressive when it comes to admin tasks, okay? And what I mean by that is this. Prospecting, until you've actually communicated with the client, is only an admin task. I argue that revenue-generating activities are only revenue-generating activities when you have presented your offer to the client and they have a pen and paper in hand, and then you communicate that process. That handling of objection, that getting to the next level in the sale is a revenue-generating activity. Anything prior to that, from generating a quote, SOW, logging your activities, logging your calls, all of that are admin tasks. While yes, those are essential parts of the sales process, particularly in your organization, especially if you have a larger company or a moderate to large company where you have a lot of hands in one organization or one pot, you need to separate those activities, and that's very important. So, but admin tasks, guys, they bog sales reps down. In fact, we have to go through and say, okay, you have 10 hours in a day to sell. Maybe 8 of those hours or 6 of those hours are actually good selling hours. 2 to 4 of those hours you are going to spend working admin tasks, setting up your day, setting goals, whatever it is you have to do. Those are admin tasks. They don't actually lead to revenue. Then we look at this, and this is another one. This is uncertainty, right? Uncertainty. Let's spell this correctly. I'm sorry, handwriting's rough, but you get the idea. So uncertainty in the sales process. Look, if you're going to go in sales, you need to be able to deal with uncertainty, and that could be anything. Financial uncertainty month to month. You can go from 0 to 0 within a month span if you're not financially savvy or wise, and especially if you exist on a model that most businesses that are outside sales, B2B sales, exist right now, where they start to see their numbers go up and down each month, and we'll talk about that here in a moment. But there is a level of uncertainty there. In addition to that, we see this, and this is another big one. It is an inconsistent pitch. An inconsistent sales pitch. Guys, this inconsistent sales pitch. Imagine being a sales rep. It's the middle of the week. It's a Wednesday, a Thursday, whatever the day is, but it's the middle of the week, and you have already made 70 to 80 cold calls in person to businesses that have been rejected all week long. Do you think your pitch is going to be the same it was on Monday that it's going to be on Friday afternoon at 4 o'clock? No, there's no way that's going to happen. And I don't care how good a sales rep you think you are or say you are, you're not going to have a consistent pitch, same tone, same personality every single time without hiccup. You're not going to have it. So what we need to do is need to find a way to make our pitch consistent and make it be the best pitch that we could possibly have, with still being a realistic expectation, with still setting realistic expectations for the client. This is critical. This is critical. In addition to this, I'm going to add one more down here for outside sales reps, and that is a depleting resource, okay? So depleting resource. This is interesting because we're probably thinking car, right? We're thinking cost of gas. We're thinking that stuff. Our depleting resource is not just gas, allowance, car allowance, all that stuff. It's actually time. We are depleting our time. It's the one thing we can't get back. See, a depleting resource is one of those things that it's not impossible, it's improbable that we're able to address that completely. But what we can do is we can address all of these: burnout, constant rejection, admin tasks, uncertainty, inconsistent pitch. These are variables that we can control. Okay? Now let's look at what the perfect situation would be for an ideal business-to-business rep, right? What does that perfect thing look like? What is that? What is the ultimate goal? Okay, so let's look at this. So we're going to go B2B. We're going to do this one in blue. B2B ideal. This is an ideal situation for B2B. Now, one thing goes without saying, that's going to be a high income. In sales, it is still remains true, is one of the highest, if not the highest, earning potential of any job, especially obviously as specific to industry. But if you have complete control of your income, there is no limit to what you can earn. So it's a high income, and what we hope is that the high income supersedes and really overshadows all the other negatives that we have to deal with on a regular basis. Okay, so there's the high income. Then you have this. Because you have high income, you have financial control. Because of a high income, you now have financial control. And this is another ideal of a B2B sales rep. And this is what they're thinking of, day one when they start the job or when they apply for the job and they see it for the first time. This is really what they're thinking of, if they're money motivated or if they're motivated by their success. So you have to identify that. The other part of this is it's a simple sales model. It's a simple success formula. Okay, I'm going to share that with you. Simple success formula. Now, what does that formula look like? Here's what it is. Activities plus finding the right pain points consistently over time. I'm going to just put pain points equals revenue or commission, right? Activities plus the right pain points over time equals revenue. It's a simple formula for success, and a lot of sales reps see that and they like the simplicity. Now, sales is simple, but it's not easy, right? If it was easy, everybody and their mom would go and do it and be successful. And, I wouldn't be here talking about this right now. We wouldn't have the turnover rate that we do. The other part of this is the satisfaction of winning. Okay, so satisfaction of winning. So let's go over this again. B2B problems, burnout, constant rejection, admin tasks, uncertainty, inconsistent pitch, and a depleting resource, our time. Then we have the business-to-business ideal. This is the ideal situation for a sales rep and really what ultimately leads them to apply for the position that you have open, and what their hope and their future is high income, financial control, simple success formula, and then the satisfaction of winning. Now, this is interesting. You should be able to tell that the problems in business to business right now really overcome the business to business ideals. And I would hard press to say if you came up with a list of all the outcome, the benefits to an sales, you could find just as many, if not more, problems as it currently stands. My argument is we need to figure out a way in order to retain the employees that we have. If we know them, they've gone through the vetting process, we know them to be quality people and quality sales reps. I like to call them solution reps. We need to figure out a way to fix this burnout, to fix the constant rejection, even as good as they are, the variable of rejection. How quickly can we get them to reject, right? That's more worried about. Not so much the amount of rejection, it's what time in the process are we being rejected? Are we being rejected 3 weeks into a prospect, or are we being rejected up front? I would prefer to be rejected up front with a yes or no, right? And then I can ask my why questions and dig a little bit deeper. But before we can even, at this point, before we can even dig deeper and get to those why questions and open up those open-ended questions that we want to ask our clients or our prospects, we have to be able to get to that point. And right now, I'm going to share a stat with you. Right now, on average, as of 2021, the quarter 3 and 4 of 2021, in my industry in particular, managed IT, it's taking this 16 contact attempts per account touched to get a yes or a no. 16 contact attempts. Now, that might vary for your industry. It might take 8, might take 7, might take 20, might take 24, might take 50. Whatever it is, there's still a number out there. Mine is 16. So it's taking me 16 contact attempts per business that I go to on an outside business to business model to get a decision, whether that's a yes or a no. And that is industry whole, okay? That is industry whole. So again, it could be very different for your industry. Now, we look at this and we go, what does this have to do with anything? Here's the thing. I'm going to share this with you. Let's look at the problems. Burnout, constant rejection, admin tasks, uncertainty, and inconsistent pitch. I can get these removed. I can almost eliminate these. I can eliminate burnout. I can reduce constant rejection. I can reduce admin tasks. I can eliminate uncertainty, and I can eliminate an inconsistent pitch. So I can almost eliminate all of this, and I'll show you how in a minute. Now, how do I increase high income, financial control or certainty with a simple success formula, excuse me, and the satisfaction of winning? What I want to do is it's very simple. If I can increase this while decreasing this, I know that I can increase the revenue generated by 40 to 50% per business. So if I can decrease this and increase this, we could solve a lot of these issues. So the big thing is, what's the solution? Let's take a look at it. So over the last, I would say over the last 3.5 years, I've had a unique opportunity to go to many, many businesses and learn what they're doing month to month, year to year, what their numbers look like. I've had the opportunity to work with them, for them, and create solutions for them. So here's what I have seen, and tell me if this looks familiar to you at all. All Okay, and what I found was this. I'm going to go ahead and separate this into two columns, okay? We're going to just do that, separate them into two columns. What I'm finding right now is that over the course of these 3 to 4 years to this current time, the businesses that are B2B models, okay, the business-to-business model, I am seeing this. I'm going to just put this B2B up top. B2B. I'm seeing this. They'll start here at January, and they'll go here to the end of their quarter. Let's say it's, no, let's go the whole year. Let's go the whole fiscal year. So we'll say to December, okay? Now here's what's happening. January, they start on a high note. This is the highest revenue they're getting because of the activities that they did in December. Then all of a sudden they come down here to February. They see this dip. February goes to March, goes to April, goes to May, goes to June, goes to July, July levels out, goes to August, goes to September, goes to October, goes to November, goes to December. We're seeing sort of this trend, right? You're starting to see this happen. What exactly is this telling us? Well, we're seeing that our activities, this rising action right about here in December of whatever the prior year was, is leading to an increase false January. So we'll see, okay, we have high revenue here. Then all of a sudden, February, boom, we're in the pits. And we're going, oh gosh, we're looking at having to let reps go. The reps start to get worried. They're not making the money they were making. And then all of a sudden, this thing happens. Everybody starts prospecting again. Everybody starts prospecting again. You have a rising action here in March. And then March, you're not as good as you were in January, but oh, you're on a rising action. You're thinking this is what's going to happen. Finally, this is the year things level out. And then it drops again. It happens again, drops again, and then June and July, you guys implement a strategy going, okay, you know what? We're going to incentivize the reps to do more activity, to do more and more activity. So we say, guys, you're going to make more phone calls. You're going to make more cold calls. And they do. And just because natural attrition, they're starting to do more activity, they start to see more business. While all of a sudden we're still sitting there thinking, well, there's still a variable at play here. Remember that thing about constant rejection? Remember that thing about a depleting resource time? This is where that's playing into the hands. So you'll sit here and you'll start to see a plateau in August or to September or whatever, where you start to level out. And you think, we figured out the formula, now we can just go up. And all of a sudden you see the drop again. And then what do we say between October and December, right? What happens in here? Boy, we get hit with the holidays. Oh, it's the holidays. It's the holidays. You're a doctor's office open Monday through Friday. Why would it be the holidays that are causing you a decrease? People get sick just as much now as they do at the beginning of the year. That doesn't change. But we use this as an excuse, especially if you're in a outside medical sales company or whatever you're doing. Listen, we got to stop using this as an excuse. We can see even greater growth at this period. But what we have to do is implement the right strategy. So what I did was I implemented a strategy for a few companies as part of just sort of a consultancy, where what we were able to do for them was this. We were able to transform a low January, wouldn't start high necessarily, we'd start kind of mid-range here. We would be able to grow very steadily with a very small dip, and be able to grow again with another small dip, up again, small dip, up again, small dip, and then up. But what we weren't seeing was this huge, just static boom, 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 boom across the board, up and down. We were seeing a very consistent approach to sales across the board. And here's why this happened. Here's exactly why this happened. So these companies that I worked with were fantastic companies. They really were. They had great products, software products, some training products, but predominantly most of them were business to business. Why was this happening? In fact, I'm not going to erase it yet. I'm going to leave it up. Why was this happening? Because what we did was we took a strategy, and that strategy was the digitization of the sales prospecting process. Okay? We're looking at digitization. So now I'm going to erase this. I'm going to show you what that means. I'm sure this will fall apart. Digitization of sales. So let's look at this now. What does that mean? What is the digitization of sales? I'm just going to put digitization. I think I got that right. So digitization of B2B sales. I want to paint a picture for you. You're a salesperson going into an organization for the 30th time. You're frustrated. You're frustrated by the amount of activities you have to do, knowing that you have to do 16 activities per account, and then you still have to do 10 accounts a day. You're doing roughly 160 activities that you're accumulating every day that you're selling. So now your activities at some point are going to increase over your revenue. What we want is we want to reverse that trend. Remember that list we put up there earlier about burnout and constant rejection and admin task and uncertainty and inconsistent pitch and losing of time or a depleting resource. Guys, all this stuff is eliminated by the digitization of business-to-business sales. So let's go back to our example. You're an outside business-to-business rep. You're frustrated. Out of frustration, you say, you know what? I'm going to do something different. I'm going to increase the effectiveness of my time, provide immediate value to my prospect, and give them their time back while also being mindful of it, letting them know you're being mindful of it. So you record a demo. No, not a product demo. It is quite literally just you in front of a screen, giving your position, giving your pitch, simply explaining the research that you've already done based on the industry that they're in. And you're curious to know if they're seeing these same struggles. List 3 struggles. For me, it's IT managed services. Are you seeing an increased issue in computer failure, network failure? Are you seeing issues with password management? Are your users having a difficult time having backwards compatibility with applications? If any of these things are what you're experiencing, let me know. We can handle those situations for you. I want you to know you're not alone. Many of the clients we work with have the exact same issues that they're facing. Thankfully, there is a solution around managed IT, and I'd like to come talk to you about that. So that is a terrible pitch, but it's one that's far more effective than going business to business, going, hi, my name's Ken, I have a product, yada, 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 no, we're not interested. Or worse, yeah, they might be interested in that. Let's give them a call Monday. Hey, are they in office? No, they're home sick. No, they're in a meeting. No, they're meeting with the doctors. Whatever it might be, there's always a reason not to have something. But you as a rep are told, continue to get that no, continue to fight into that account. So when you introduce this tablet tech, you pull out a tablet, and you record the best pitch, the best possible pitch you have while still being personable and mindful of their time and also mindful that you did the research of their industry, that's a different position because now what are you doing? Now what you're doing for your client is you're doing this. Your client, when all of a sudden you introduce a tablet or the digitization in a highly consumed, need it now type of world that we live in, you are doing this. You are giving your clients back time, value, strategy, and solution. And you're doing it in 3 minutes or less. How many business-to-business sales reps do you think right now are using this? Not many. Not many. Right now, your competition is likely going into these calls. And let me put this up here. Client value. So the digitization of business-to-business sales process using tablet technology, your client's value is their time, is the value that you're adding to the solution that they have, the strategy that you want to implement, right? There has to be a strategy, meaning there has to be a defined approach. We can go into that in the curriculum. And then you're actually giving them a solution to a very real problem that they have in 3 minutes or less. And then you're doing this. Yes or no? Guys, I know this seems counterintuitive to what we've learned in sales, but I'm telling you, over a 10-year period of failing and succeeding and failing and succeeding, just like that graph chart showed of going up and down, so has been my career until finally finding out what really works and what works for the businesses. We have to stop trying to do things the way things used to be done, but take the way things used to be done and simply improve it. I'm not saying get rid of it. Have the same total number of activity. If you want to be based on activity, by all means, go be an activity-based company. But make sure you're based on the right activity and you're doing the activities that generate more revenue and not just more activities. If you want to maintain your employee base that you currently have and not have to worry about interviewing and high turnover rates, give them the control, but also the resources they need to make the money that they want to make, to ultimately generate the revenue that you want them to generate for your business. Look, your client's value here in 3 minutes or less is simply a yes or no response. And what I'm telling you right now, by introducing the tablet technology, the tablet idea, whether that's an iPad, a Chromebook, whatever it is that's in a tablet form, with a simple 3 minute or less pitch, you're giving them the chance to say no quicker, or you're giving them the chance to say yes quicker. Now, what I'm telling you is when I did this myself, I started to see about a 50% to 60% increase in my appointment count, thereby also seeing a 50 to 60% increase in my monthly commissions and the revenue that I was generating for the business. See, this is a simple strategy that we can implement. And what it does, guys, is it cuts out the burnout. It cuts out the constant rejection, the consistent rejection, that variable rejection, where it's happening at the 10th attempt, 12th attempt. It's happening more immediate here. Now, what's the strategy? What does the tablet tech strategy actually look like? Here's what it is. Rep delivers pitch. In fact, the rep, this takes a lot of pressure off the rep because the rep isn't pitching anything. The rep is simply rep delivers tablet. That's it. The rep goes in, delivers the tablet to the gatekeeper, whomever is there. But what they have to do is they have to make sure the rep delivers tablet, decision maker receives tablet, there we go. The DM or the decision maker receives the tablet, and that's confirmed. Rep leaves. 24-hour turnaround. Decision. So here's what's happening. This is very high level, but this is pretty much it. So tablet technology, rep delivers the pitch, right, in a tablet form, and he makes sure that the decision maker actually receives the tablet. Would you mind running this up there to the decision maker, the person that's responsible for the IT decisions of your organization? I feel like this is incredibly important, but I don't want to sit there and hover over them, not being mindful of their time. I will be back within 24 hours to pick up the iPad or to pick up the tablet. And then you have a decision. See, what you're doing is you're giving them a timeline to make a decision, whether that's a yes or a no decision. You're giving your contact information, a business card on the tablet with a post-it note, play me, or whatever it is you want to put on there. But you're giving them a timeline of when you're going to be back. Where we fail a lot of times as sales reps is there's an ambiguity, There's an ambiguity around when we're going to follow up. Oh, well, maybe you should follow up within 72 hours. Oh, no. You need to follow up within 12 hours of your visit. Forget it. Just put 24 hours. Follow up when you drop off the tablet. You're going to have a yes or a no decision. If it is a no decision, well, now you have a way to poke into it. Really, I find that interesting. I did a lot of research on the industry, and I felt like this might be relevant. Can you tell me why they were led to that decision? Yeah, sure, here. And then you have that conversation. But let me tell you, what you're going to see by doing this is that part of that 40 to 50 or 50 to 60% increase in appointment count or revenue, whatever, is going to be getting to more of the why quicker. Instead of spending weeks on one account and having a CRM that's backlogged with terrible data and bad information, you're going to start to see that your data, your information is going to be a lot cleaner. It's going to be much cleaner. And you're going to start to see that decisions start to get made much quicker. Your sales cycle is going to shorten. This is one of the biggest reasons behind the increases that we saw. Why did we see the dips that we did? Because it's the industry. You're going to see dips. You're going to always have, out of 10 people, you will probably have 8 of them not always do the best that they can do. It's your job as an employer to incentivize them to do the best that they can do. I know that feels weird saying that, but as a salesperson, we are motivated by generating commissions, by generating an income that we can live on, that our families can survive on, that we can build a wealth with. It's more so than just climbing a ladder or anything like that. So we have to change the way that the model is executed, right? We have to change the way that our current model is executed in a business-to-business sales strategy. Now, there is a specific way to do this to make this effective. I teach that to companies. So on site, I'm able to go in and on site and actually teach organizations how to implement this strategy and give you all the resources you need to make that happen. If you have a business-to-business sales company and you're curious to understand this a little bit more, to dive a little bit deeper, let me know. You can reach out to me directly. I'd be happy to help you out and address these for you. But guys, no more sitting here waiting for the burnout to stop, the rejection to calm the nerves of the sales reps. Let's get them excited again. Let's get people excited again to make revenue for your company, to earn commissions. Let's boost that sales acumen up. Let's push the envelope of how much revenue our business can make. And it starts with digitizing your business-to-business sales approach.